Hi farm friends, welcome to Haven Acres. Today's video is a little compilation of all of the things that we harvested and preserved for this winter. Well, maybe not all of them, but some of them. Did you preserve something this fall that you can't wait to eat this winter? Let us know in the comments. I'm excited to see what you all preserved. If I may be completely honest with you, where it's the end of summer, I'm a little sad. Not that I'm an unhappy person, because I am generally a happy person. However, I love summer. I love all of the things about summer, and the fact that it's coming to an end is really sad for me. I think it's more that time is just moving, and that's sad. I love fall, I love winter, I really love spring, and here we have it. It's the end of summer, so today I'm preserving carrots. I have 15 pounds roughly of carrots here, and I am cutting them to prepare for the canner so that we can have these beautiful, fresh now carrots, organic, all winter long. Did I mention? I know I didn't. These carrots were bartered for, which is something I really love in our neighborhood. We bartered chicken for carrots and maple syrup, and and ground beef for more maple syrup. That's what we do in this community, and I love it. Everybody does their part and raises or grows their own things, and then we can barter. We have other friends who, one friend has done outstanding in her garden this year, and she's bartering fresh vegetables to one of our other friends for their chicken, and it's just a win-win way of feeding the community. Cold carrots, cold jars, cold water, cold canner. And as nothing goes to waste here, a full bucket of carrot scraps for the chickens. Organic peaches from our trees are going to taste so good this winter. And 15 pounds of carrots turned into 10 quarts and 1 pint. And it's time to dry herbs on the porch. And peach pits. And we have mountains and mountains of basil to make pesto to put in the freezer, or just grind it up and put basil in olive oil and freeze it. That way I can use it all winter. Yep, this is what we were reading earlier. Look at all of this abundance. Because it's early fall, well, I guess it's not technically fall yet, it's still late summer, we have all of the things drying for preservation out here on the porch. We've got basil leaves. We have chamomile that I just picked this morning. Isn't that beautiful? Don't mind my hands, they're gross. They're clean, they're just... Isn't that beautiful? We have peach pits that came from our organic peaches. I'm drying them out because the seed inside can be used to make almond extract. I know it's not almonds, it's a peach pit, but we're gonna go with it. I've got more basil drying back here. Hanging in this porch that gets so hot, we have more basil, lots of different basil. We have, what the heck is this? Oh yeah, echinacea, a little bit of echinacea. And then down here we have some beautiful mint. And most of this is almost ready to come down. Not that, that's still got a lot of life left in it. But when it does, we will put something else up. Probably more basil and sage. And what kind of a hot mess do we have going on in the greenhouse? Oh yeah, it is a mess. But we are curing potatoes. Yep. We're dealing with wasps as well, but we are curing all of that garlic that we harvested. I'm cutting off the stems and roots today. More potatoes. We'll be bringing in onions before you know it. This pretty container of marigolds, seriously, I've almost killed it so many times. This is why my greenhouse is a mess, because I just do things like this. All over the floor it goes, but it doesn't matter. I'll just sweep it all up when I'm done. It's easier to just make a mess and then clean it up than to worry about trying to stay super neat when you're doing a job like this. Pick your battles, people. Pick your battles. Sure, there's a far easier way to clean garlic. I just don't happen to know what it is. So I just do it my way. So as you can see, I have the shade cloth on this is not the hoop house. This is the greenhouse. I have a shade cloth on the greenhouse, which helps keep it cooler in here. I'm going to put the garlic down so that it can finish curing. This garlic is all intact, it's in good shape, so we'll keep that for storage just how it is. All of this garlic has either like super thin paper on it, see the cloves are just in there, or they've got cracks, so those would not store very good. So I'm going to take this garlic and either use it right away or slice it up and dehydrate it and then make garlic powder out of it. It would be silly for me to try and store this because it's just going to, it's just not going to store. So we will preserve it in a different way. You could also take this and mash it and then put it in ice cube trays with water. I just think that, you'd have some pretty stinky ice cube trays from then on. But do what works for you. We managed to go down to the lake one morning, and one of our locals was playing the bagpipes. It is September 6th, and this is the first rain that we have had at least since mid-July. Other people in our town have had rain. The storm just happened to go past our house or around our house. Since it's raining out and I am enjoying that, I decided I would peel some of our garlic so that we can slice it and then dehydrate it. That's just one way we'll preserve it. After it's dehydrated, I can just leave it whole and toss it into soups and stews, or I can grind it up and make garlic powder. These potatoes are almost done and they are about ready to dig up. But even in the state that they're in, gosh, I just feel like everything is saying right now, thank goodness for the rain. We needed that so bad. The sides of the hoop house up while it was raining so that it would get some rain in here too, and I am sure the tomatoes and basil will appreciate it. The cucumbers, well, with the exception of this one on the end, which is bearing fruit. Look at that. With the exception of this one, the cucumbers really need to all be pulled down. I've got some kale still going strong. The squash is on its way out. Peppers are still fruiting and still budding. Okay, I didn't show you cutting the garlic because, well, we all know how to cut, so that would just be a waste of time. However, just got it in there, and tomorrow morning we will see how it is. This is one of my old trusty food dehydrators. I have two that are exactly the same, and they are very old. Someday I'll get a new fancier one, but for now these do the trick. And I don't know if you can tell, but they are definitely dehydrating. We'll check them after 24 hours. And these bulbs that were in the group of bulbs that were split, you can see that one's split right there. I saved these because they're big cloves, and these I will finish drying, and that is what I will plant for next year's garlic. There should be about 170 cloves. This is really a bittersweet day. However, since it's raining out, which is wonderful, I am going to cut down the majority of the cucumbers because they're dying back anyhow, and that will give more light to the tomatoes that are on the other side. Have you ever wondered what happens if you don't trellis or put your tomatoes in cages? Well, what happens is they just keep growing just like they would any other time. Now, the greenhouse, even with the shade cloth on it, is not the best place to cure onions, but it's definitely not the worst place. It's not in direct sunlight because of the shade cloth. There is airflow. I have it on the cedar benches that have slats, and they will cure in here. And I figured I might as well try drying some echinacea in here also. The porch is working just fine, but hey, let's see if this works. Although I do enjoy making tomato sauce, or pasta sauce I should say, on a cold winter's day on our wood cook stove, it's just not the best use of our tomatoes as far as I'm concerned. For the amount of tomato sauce or pasta sauce that you get, you have to use a lot of tomatoes to make enough pasta sauce to last us all year at least. So this year I am going to make a decent batch of salsa, which is something that we don't buy because it's just an unnecessary expense, but I'll make it with our own peppers, our own organic peppers, our own organic tomatoes, our own onions, our own cilantro, and it will all be delicious. I may also take some tomatoes that are still on the vines ripening and just cut them up and can them as just canned tomatoes. And that way, if I want to add them in with sauce over the winter or make a sauce over the winter, I can just do a small batch kind of thing. And I won't be using so many tomatoes, time and energy. I'll just buy organic sauce from the store. For me, currently, that makes more sense. I wish this screen was a scratch and sniff because, oh my goodness, this smells so good. I have our tomatoes, our onions, some shallots, some hot Hungarian peppers, some green peppers, our organic garlic. Let's see, what else did I put in here? Salt. Oh, some cilantro that I grew. Some apple cider vinegar. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing. I forgot, I also put in lemon juice and parsley. Parsley is not necessary and neither is lemon juice, but lemon juice will make it just taste brighter, if that makes sense. And parsley is just really good for you. It adds color and flavor. I love it. I hope I'm invited to a wedding someday where the bride carries a bouquet of basil. She would be the coolest bride. Well, we got a frost last night. Look what it did to all of the butternut. All the leaves got hit. I'll have to cut off the squash, let them ripen. I wished I had seen this sunflower in all of its glory. Look how big that head is. And it's only like 3 feet tall. Bet that was something. I missed it. I didn't pick a lot of apples this year off our trees because they were very small and they didn't really taste great. But I didn't discover that until I had picked a bunch. So I took those apples and I turned them into like apple juice, which I then made apple jelly with today. And the great thing about making apple jelly is once you get the apple jelly made, you have the skins and the pulp from the apple jelly, and you can take that and make apple butter. From the same apples, you get 2 products. And with the lard that I have rendered down, I let it harden overnight. And I went out this morning and I picked hops from our hops vine. I am going to heat this up and infuse the oil with hops, which is going to become hops soap. And because Frost got the vines last night, we decided to pick what of the butternut is turning brown, and we'll put it in the greenhouse to cure. And the ones that are green, well, we'll just see what happens. All of the chamomile flowers have dried. They've simply been sitting on this plate on napkins for probably between a week and 2. I lose track of time easily. But they're nice and dry, and I will simply put them in a jar with the rest. I'll make a mess, clearly. This is just an old ragu jar. As long as they have a seal on the inside of the lid, a rubber seal, they'll seal nice and tight. I'll put this in our apothecary, and I have kind of a shelf for tea and tea blends in there. And I will drink this tea anytime in the winter that I just want to relax. It's a great before bedtime tea. And I know it's 100% organic, not sprayed with anything. And it will be delicious. The hop soap is done, and in 6 weeks it will be ready to use. It is October 6th, and today, even though I forgot to take a video of it, I picked a big stock pot full of tomatoes, and some basil from the hoop house, and I cut them up, tossed in some garlic, dehydrated garlic, some salt, some pepper, and I just have it cooking on the stove. I am going to can some tomato sauce. This won't be much actually. By the time I get done boiling it and boil it down to the consistency that I like, run it through the food mill, that big stock pot of tomatoes will probably seriously make 2 or 3 quarts. I know, I said I wasn't going to make any sauce, but I just couldn't help myself. Recently, I started digging up the last of the potatoes. I have 1 row done and 2 more to go. It's a little sad because we didn't get much rain this year, as I've said, and well, the potatoes didn't get huge. However, they're organic, they're homegrown, and we will eat them. They're going to be delicious. We still have a ton of butternut squash that is laying out in the garden, hardening off. And well, the corn is actually still on the corn stalks. We have picked some to eat. Some of it is ripe, some of it is not. Want some corn husks? Out of that big lobster pot of tomatoes, I ended up with 5 quarts of really thick and beautiful pasta sauce. I trimmed the onions and shallots, and they are ready to store as well. And today I picked the remaining corn that will be used for cornmeal. Well, after I pull back the husk and dry it. Isn't it beautiful? We also ended up with about 48 ears of eating corn. Some we ate fresh, and the rest we blanched and vacuum sealed for the freezer. These are definitely not all of the things that we've preserved this fall. However, they were all of the things that I remembered to video. And I wanted to show you a cute little bull calf that was born today. We hope that you enjoyed seeing some of the things that we preserved at the end of summer, early fall. I look forward to seeing what you were up to. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time at Haven Acres.